is Chartered Financial Planner for Armstrong Davies in Hertfordshire. Hello there, Jonathan.
Hello, Jonathan.
Good afternoon to you. So 3 days into this VAT cut, has it been a complete success? Is the recession over now?
It certainly is not, I'm sorry to say. It's a weird tax change. It's almost unprecedented. I can't imagine what they think they're going to achieve from it. Do they really seriously believe that just because a television is now on £400, it's now £12 cheaper, that suddenly we're going to go out and buy a television, whereas previously we weren't going to buy a television? No. Unemployment is rising faster than we've seen in decades. Home repossessions are rising. The government-owned banks are deferring repossessions for 6 months, but all that's doing is delaying the inevitable. Companies are going bankrupt left, right and centre. No, I'm afraid to say this recession has only just got started.
But if us customers, if those of us, because I'll be honest with you, Jonathan, there are a lot of people out there, and talking to some colleagues, I mean, I personally am not looking forward to having to renegotiate my mortgage in a couple of weeks' time, and I'm very worried about that. That's, for me, my financial concern. But I know people who have said to me, financially at the moment, where is this credit crunch? Because I've still got a job. My mortgage has gone down, not up. I've noticed that petrol's getting cheaper. I actually feel financially better off. Now, those people who do feel financially better off, why are they not going out and spending the money? Because if they were to go out and spend the money, they're then propping up businesses, which in turn employ people, and hence the economy is stimulated.
Well, that would be great if they did, but I think you must be talking about the very tiny minority, because surely everyone knows that unemployment's rising. Surely everyone knows that we're in recession, which means the amount of goods and services sold in the economy is falling. Surely everyone knows that house prices are falling. Surely everyone knows that corporate bankruptcies are dramatically on the rise. Yes, one of the good news is that petrol's been falling, but that's nothing to do with the UK economy. That's simply to do because the price of oil in the world stage fell from roughly $150 a barrel of oil to roughly $50 a barrel of oil. So, that's happened in the past. I actually believe that oil is bottoming out here and will rise from here. Mortgages, only those on a variable rate mortgage linked to the Bank of England have seen their mortgage costs go down. Those on a fixed rate clearly haven't altered, and those on a variable rate linked to this thing, the LIBOR, the interbank rate, have not also fallen. So the Bank of England rate mortgages, there's about 1 in 3 of all mortgages are linked to the Bank of England rate. So no, there is clearly a recession, and those who say there isn't one are in cloud cuckoo land.
Is the best policy, and I know this sounds very harsh, but is the best policy in this kind of financial environment that we're in at the moment to just do nothing and let it ride out? Do we have to accept that people will lose their jobs, people will lose their houses, people will, feel much less well off than they have done, but that is just a fact of life, it's part of the cycle, and eventually things will improve and people will get jobs again and we'll be able to finally get back on the housing ladder? I mean, is that the best policy of the government, just do nothing?
Well, before I answer that directly, let's look at the last sort of roughly 10 years. Our economy, and indeed much of the West's economy globally, has been built on households increasing their debt levels. So where are we now? We have, in the United Kingdom, the largest amount of household debt of all of the major industrialised economies. Brown's forever saying that we are strong enough to see this through. That is total arrant nonsense. We are the weakest economy in the 10 largest economies in the world. Now, should we do nothing? No, we shouldn't do nothing. Should we have got where we are now? No, we shouldn't have. But, that's in the past. Brown encouraged us all to borrow and spend. And what's amazing, they're doing it again. They're encouraging us to borrow even more and spend more, which I find remarkable. Should we be doing what we're doing? Well, to some degree, of course, we should be putting money into the economy in order to help the economy get moving again. Personally, I wouldn't have cut VAT. Personally, I would have cut the taxes for the lower earners, because they are the people who spend more on goods and services as a proportion of their income than wealthier people. No, we shouldn't do nothing, but I'm just not convinced that the actions they're taking is going to help. Can I just make one other point? People need to realise that following the next election, I'm sure it's no coincidence, our taxes are going to go through the roof to pay for all the government borrowings, and they're going to stay high for years. So, our economy is in dire straits, and I'm sorry to say it, but this is exactly my view. I think we're going to stay in dire straits for many years to come.
Oh dear. Jonathan, thank you very much indeed. Jonathan Davies, Chartered Financial Planner for Armstrong Davies in Hertfordshire.